So nowadays organizations invest heavily on SIM solutions, SOC, a lot of other technologies. I wish all these solutions integrates well and there is some kind of API integration which is bi-directional. Eventually the management gets a one dashboard, a feed from all these, and if in case the management wants to deep dive, he has the capability to do that.
I think automation is becoming more and more important these days, considering the number of incidents that are growing day by day, and we are not able to upskill or increase our team size in that proportion, and therefore it's getting humanly impossible to respond to all those alerts and incidents. And I think we have to shift our gears and build as much as automation as possible, test the automation well, automate those things that we are very confident of how we have manually done, and then translate that into a code or program or automated workflows. I think automation is the way to go.
Every organization, enterprise is having 20-25 plus technologies running in the environment to protect the organizational assets. But sometimes it's not possible to integrate all the tools and technology together, but it's a need of time. If technology, the key critical component, or we can say devices, security devices, are integrated with the SIM solutions, that gives a one truth of information, and that gives more visibility in terms of security posture. So orchestration is very much essential, and that will also reduce the burden on security analyst who is taking the decision, because actual information which is required for incident response will be available at a first place.
So I think incident response in the cyber world is one of the most challenging moments that that comes along, and especially if it is an incident of high severity and high impact. So at that point of time, all the assistance that one can get, all the speed that one can get is something which is critical. And mature organizations in security have a CERT team, they have organized teams around incident response, but there are so many other organizations which don't have it, maybe cannot afford it either. So therefore, automation is one of the levers that can help a SOC, an organization, or even a service provider look at certain standard types of incidents that are happening. Once, let's say, ransomware is known and it's already starting to impact organizations, and then it suddenly veers your way, then how would you look at handling that? If automation driven by the extracted knowledge of incident response crafted into a playbook that can actually help the process operate better without human this thing, and if unfortunately it happens to be that Saturday 1 AM kind of a situation, definitely automation is a very serious aspect of incident response that needs to be looked into, and I just gave some anecdotal examples of why it's so important.
Yeah, so when we do a lot of projects on Industry 4.0 and we do a lot of projects on 62443 standard, so a lot of automation is happening where we see the service lines, for example in a manufacturing industry, in an automobile industry, they are automating the assembly lines, the manufacturing lines, and the person maybe sitting in Mumbai is able to control all the dashboards real time. In the oil and gas industry, they are able to control, monitor, and see what are the oil levels in Jamnagar right now at this very point in time. So automation is happening, everything is going on cloud, everything, there is mobile app for everything. Nowadays we have everything linked to our smartwatches and cars and everything. So automation is catching up at an exponential speed. So we really need to catch up and ensure that everything, the ecosystem we create around a company or an individual, it is actually secure.
The importance of automation in incident responses is by and large very much in today's network, because the attack vectors and the various attacks that are happening today using various channels has to be correlated and understood in a very minimal time frame. So when an incident happens and it happens through various channels, so if we can correlate and bring it into a common platform wherein the user or the end customer gets to know of the attack that is happening in the network in a very short time, so the mitigation time gets shortened. So that's how we handle it.
when any incident happens, primarily the response times are at some length to the actual event happening. So that gap has to be shrunk or reduced a lot. When we are deploying automation or robotic arrangements within SIM SOC or technology, we are reducing the gap of addressing the incidents. So it's as good as like the incident is addressed there and there itself.
It's very important because some operations are, everything is now 24/7, and manual command control center or somebody is monitoring your network physically is very difficult. So you need automation, and in case of any abnormal conditions or any kind of a deviation from the routine logs, immediately action needs to be taken automatically without any human intervention, and then immediately those responses or communication needs to be given to the concerned person.
When it comes to the automation in incident response, it has a very major or key role going forward, because the kind of incidents and the bandwidth of incidents that we are seeing on regular basis in the industry today or outside the world, it's very much important. Like, we use this new technologies and artificial intelligence and automation to help us and help across and quicker, I would say, response to all the incidents that we come across.
It is important. We have seen some identifications and some utilities available. Although you will require manual intervention or take care of the things, but giving the indications, giving the symptoms on an early stage does help. If you have the tools which can immediately detect, and at least a flash saying that there is something happening, and then of course you have your plan to deal with it in whatever way.
Automation is also extremely important because you continuously cannot monitor something like firewalls and logs and everything. If you set automation, the incident response time becomes very short and you can respond in time. And that's the most important thing that you can do. Mostly the cloud companies, they hire people to do their automation part. So you need to configure that in a programming manner. But if you see companies and products, they don't have that automation part. They should get that in place in the threat response.